Good morning, everyone. It is the day before the last day of 2021. We're going to 2022, but there's no one better that I would rather do that with than the two sexiest men in payments, Mr. Brian Linke and Mr. Danny Shard. Mr. Linke, how are you, sir? I know you've been having like 10,000 people in your house. Are you surviving?
No, well, Nate, I'm well. Yeah, I am surviving. It's been a little different than just having two people in the house. To all of a sudden, I've got like my son Jacob. He's got two friends that are, I don't know, they're vagrants staying there. I wake up this morning and there's like other people in my house. I'm like, okay. My brother said he's like, who was cooking eggs at 3:00 in the morning? I'm like, well, that would be Jacob. So yeah, it's been a little bit different, but it's whenever you get to spend time with your family, it's always good.
It is good, and I'm positive that Danny Shard has had a very good holiday there in the fresh white stuff there in the Rocky Mountains. How are things in Glenwood Springs, Danny?
That they're awesome. We had some family come into town as well, and coincidentally enough, it looked like it was going to be a dry winter. Most of December was, in the 60s on some days. Even played golf a few days, surprisingly. They were getting rain. Ski areas weren't opening. It was kind of a weird start to the winter season. And then this week, or I guess end of last week, we just started getting hammered with snow, and it hasn't stopped. I think we've got almost a foot and a half just at my house in the last few days. The ski area in our town's gotten about 4.5 feet. So it's my back hurts. I've been shoveling a lot. I haven't wanted to
get a guy.
Out.
Get a guy.
Get a guy. I like getting out and sweating a little bit in the morning and getting my. I got a pretty long driveway, so I got to get that shovel before I drive on it. But it's good.
Okay. You like it, but then you complain about it.
Absolutely. Well, I complain to you because I complain to you about everything. So
right. I know.
Hey, that's how we make memories right here, right? I mean,
that's it.
Right.
Absolutely. But it's a good time of year. You got to love where you live, especially whenever you're dealing with snow and conditions like this. So
we had like a whiteout yesterday. It snowed like for 2 straight hours, like really hard with those big flakes. I mean, it was impressive. I mean, it was. But I think today's supposed to be close to 50 or 45, and tomorrow's warm, and then it's going to get cold, really cold.
Yeah, it's going to get cold. It's like I'm 2 hours south of Bryan there, and it's not gotten below freezing yet. And yet, when you are getting that beautiful whiteout, it's just like I walk in my backyard and it's just a sponge. Like every step, you're just like worried that you're going to sink in and just keep sinking. I think we've taken 4 inches of rain the last 2 days, so. But wow. Hey, it is what it is, and that's what life is. Because sometimes you got to look back and say, some was good, some was bad. Most of it, hopefully, is good. And what I want to do is just take a few moments to look back at Pay Protect 2021, some of the things maybe we did, whether from March Madness to some of our first events at Southeast Acquirers, to being in Chicago together, to being in Texas together, to maybe the rollout of the 6 POS in the last few weeks. What are some of the highlights and memories that Danny and Brian have? And then I'll just kind of add in. I'm going to go with the one with the keenest of memories, Mr. Brian Linke, because I know he's sharp. He's going to have an incredible anecdote for us. What are some of your memories here from 2021?
Well, Nate, I can't remember what I ate for breakfast this morning, so I appreciate that plug. So when you asked that question, and you kind of just ruined it for me a little bit, but I think the thing
you're welcome.
Yeah. I think the thing that stands out to me, after being homebound and where there was no traveling and in 2019 and getting back, or 2020 I mean, and getting back to 2021 and because part of our all three of us, right? I mean, we go to the shows and we have these events, these Pay Protect events and Transcend and those kinds of things, and that part of the job for me is important. I mean, I really enjoy spending time with you, Nate, and with Danny Danny and with our partners and, the ones that we invite from all different parts of the country. It's never the same guys. Well, sometimes it's the same guys, but that part of it to me is important, and it's special to me, and it makes the job more fun where you rather than coming into the office every single day. So if you're going to ask me like what stands out, it's spending time with you guys and traveling and going to Dallas and going to Chicago and doing those things. And I just think that hopefully we can keep that rolling.
I think totally. And one of my memories, and Danny, I'll go through to you after this, is that I was sending out Christmas cards and writing personal notes to a bunch of our partners, and it was more fun this year than last year when I could picture the partner that I'd spent time with, been in person with, had dinner with, bring up a time that we were actually together in person, versus in 2020 when I did a lot of that. Some of them I didn't even have a face to go with a name because maybe we'd never even met in person. And it's so important just to be back, even as we go through everything that's going with Omicron and everything that's going on in the world. It was just so nice in 2021 to be back in person at several of these. Danny, what are some of your memories?
Well, you guys took some of the fire from it because it was being able to get back in front of our partners, I think, was huge. From a paper tech standpoint, if anybody listening right now, if you've been a partner with us for 12 months or 10 years, then you know that we're constantly talking about breaking records, right? We're talking about how successful we've been over the last, several years. And all of that is due to our partners, right? And everything that you guys bring to the table and working with you day in and day out to get things done. And we had, again, our more successful year here in 2021. March Madness, I go back to that. It was the biggest March Madness ever, biggest production month I think we've ever seen as a company. The most money we paid out, I think we paid out well into the six figures in March Madness bonuses. You talk to Matt Hoskins, you talk to Billy West, Nate, myself, Linky. We want to do that stuff. We love doing that stuff, right? So the promotions are fun. They're fun for our partners, and they're just fun for us to be a part of. So I look back at that, and that's a really cool thing to see. This summer was insane. Fireworks season, had a lot of seasonal business and a lot of big merchants that really picked up there in the summer months. So that was really cool. Personally, my daughter turned 1. She walked for the first time. So just kind of replaying 2021 in my head. There's so many things that happened both personally and professionally. And it's been an amazing year. And Nate, you're right. The good definitely outweighed the bad.
I think one of my memories is this year is the amount of conversations I had this year of partners that had become self-sufficient, meaning that they were living 100% off of the residual, putting 100% of their time into this business, and they were really becoming their own boss and getting to that tipping point. And there's so many of our partners that we talked to this year that did that, and so many that are planning to do that in 2022 as we kind of pivot just in a short high five fashion and look at 2022. We're just a couple days away from that. What are some of the things that, like, let's say there are a few of the partners that may say, man, I just didn't quite get it done this year. Brian, what would you say to them to say, hey, you get the calendar's turning, the date's changing. There are a lot of 2s in this year. Maybe 2 is your lucky number. What do you say to get them excited about what they can accomplish in 2022?
Well, again, I say this just about every show. I mean, there's never been a better time to be in this industry than right now, right? I mean, and obviously cash discounting is a huge part of it. Our point of sale team is another huge part of it. So I mean, if you're not going to get excited about being in the industry right now, then you never will. And that's just, how I feel about it, because, again, when I first got in this, when Matt Hoskins first brought me on and he told me, he goes, you have to have 100 processing merchants to make $100,000 a year. I remember thinking to myself, okay, how in the world? I'm not going to live long enough to sell 100 processing merchants. I mean, seriously. I mean, how am I making it to that, right? Well, now, and again, 100 processing merchants will make you a lot of money now, especially with cash discounting. But to make that kind of money, we're looking for good, solid accounts. And now we're throwing, this pay anywhere ridiculousness into it. With we doubled the activation bonuses, and we went 2 more times on the true up bonuses. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, if you can't make any money now in this industry, you really ought to look to go and do something else.
Danny, how about the people that are sitting on the sidelines, maybe haven't just done a couple accounts with PaperTech or one of our other competitors out in the industry? There's so many of them out there, and have not fully jumped into the industry and are still trying to decide, do I do, sell this, sell that? Do I keep in this part of the business? Do I keep this W-2 job? Do I fully go all in? What would you say to them as they make some of those decisions? A lot of them probably contemplating over the next couple of days, thinking, what do I want to do in 2022?
Yeah, and it's one of the toughest decisions that you can make, I think, right? Jumping from a W-2 position over to full 1099 and commission only, if that's where you're at right now. Or, maybe you're a partner that's just submitted a few deals and is working with a few providers trying to find your home. And we see a lot of that as well, right? And, it's not all green grass and blue skies with us or with any provider, right? Everybody does business differently. And I just encourage you, if you've submitted 1, 2, 5 deals with us, if you've had any issues at all, let us help you, and let us help you kind of get through and understand the way that we do business, the way we operate, the way underwriting looks at things, risks looks at things, the pay anywhere functions, if that's something that you want to sell. Something that I talk to partners often about is, even though pay anywhere is such a large part of what we offer, it is one of about 50 things that we offer, right? So we don't need to necessarily pigeonhole ourselves into just thinking that PayProTech is for pay anywhere, right? There's so many other solutions. And Nate, like you mentioned, our POS Pros team, or Brian, like you mentioned, there's so many solutions that they offer, and we're continuing to offer, right? So dive in a little bit more with us if you're still sitting on the sidelines, you're not sure about it. And if you're looking to make that jump, let's talk about it. It's definitely something to consider right now. Like Brian said, cash discounting, there's more money to be made now than ever, but you got to take the leap. And it's a challenging one, and it's concerning at first, but it'll be the best decision that you ever made. And I want to do a little plug here and a shout out to Nate Manahan, to you, man. It's you've come up with some amazing things this year, and going into next year, I think, any partner that's on the sidelines that hasn't worked with us that much, maybe you've signed up, haven't submitted a deal yet, you're not sure where to get started, it can be a little bit overwhelming. Nate, I think you've kind of set the tone for 2022, and it's on this sweatshirt that he sent over. If you can see the back of my...
Oh, he's going to model back here. Look at this. Oh, look at that.
It says, "We is greater than me." So this is something that I think we can carry into next year, and we're all a team. This is a partnership. PayProTech, our outside sales partners, our internal and external customers, all of us working together and working in unison is going to make us successful. So if, when in doubt, ask. Know that we're on your team, and you're a lot better with us and with a team than you are by yourself.
Hey, that was my next question. I was going to come to that, because I think so much of what we have right now is that what I love about PaperTech, and some of our competitors, there's certainly some great people out there, but I know that every one of our team members are committed to helping everyone grow, and knowing that as all of us together, we will grow. And when you grow, we grow. And it's a great industry to be a part of. And there's so many industries that don't have that everything's all about me. And that's why I was thinking about as I was putting a theme together and we putting that hoodie together, it just kept coming back to we is greater than me, because, hey, we're all in this together. And there's no one that represents that more than Brian Linke, who answers phone calls, cheers people up, takes care of things, and says, hey, let's all do this together and let's win together. Right, Brian?
Absolutely. Again, I've been around a lot longer than both of you. And in the industry, I'm definitely one of the elder statesmen. But before this life, before the payments life that I've and the PayProTech life, I worked with a lot of guys that made a lot of money. I worked with a lot of companies that were a lot of fun. But I've never worked for a company that combine the two the way we do, right? I mean, we definitely have a lot of fun. I mean, come on one of the trips with us, and you'll know. But then again, we're also all about making money and doing what's best for our merchants and our partners, and to have that combination of the two. I think it's really, and not that I think, I know it's really unique, because again, I've worked, New York City with these guys that were just hell bent money, but nobody was having any fun doing it, right? They made a lot, but they were half of them were so miserable they didn't even enjoy it. This company, you can make a lot of money. You can make a lot of money in this industry, and you can have a lot of fun with the people here at Pay Protect.
Love it. All right, I'm gonna throw last thing. We've said this last time. If you listened or watched our last episode, and I haven't heard of any winners on this, I'm wanting to give that sweatshirt that Danny is wearing. I have 70 of them sitting on the other side of this camera that I'm going to be shipping out over the next couple, like hopefully 6 weeks, to some of our partners. And you probably won't get the cool one like we sent Danny with his name on it, just because I'm just going to be honest. It's not money, just time. It takes too much work to do that individually for everyone. But we would love to send you that. And it says "We greater than me" in the back. Has Papertech on the sleeves, and cool Papertech sun icon right across the front. And it's a comfy hoodie. I think it keeps you a little bit warm, right, Danny?
It's a nice hoodie. Just try not to do the 180 like I did. I've got wired headphones in today because I couldn't get my wireless headphones working. So I wanted to show off this cool sweatshirt, but it proved to be more than difficult doing the whole 180 with the wired headphones. I kind of felt a little bit like Brian Linke, but I made it work. So
there we go. All right, let's break some music off here.
Thanks, Dan.
Bring it in as we close off this year. And, next week, I just was finishing up, getting it ready. We're going to record a high five next Monday. We'll hopefully be live. Today we're recording and putting it out afterwards. But I have new branding, new pieces, some stuff tied to that "We greater than me." And we'll be bringing some of the greatest things. We have new products that are launching, not just the 6POS. We'll be bringing a lot of that. We have new things that are coming in this first quarter. We're going to be in Vegas this year. We're going to be in Atlanta, Philadelphia, LA. Who knows where else we may show up this year. We're looking forward to hanging out with you. We'll make sure you guys have that information. Brian Linke, your last closing words of 2021 as the last hours are ticking down.
There are no such thing as resolutions. I've never been a resolution guy. If you want to lose weight, why are we waiting until January 1st? If you want to make more money, why are we waiting until January 1st? So let's hit the ground running on Monday. Enjoy the new year. Again, Christmas and New Year's both being on a Saturday is so awesome. So enjoy this time with your people, with your family. But Monday morning, let's get it on.
Amen. Danny Shard, what say you?
I want to take the time to say thank you to all of our partners for an awesome 2021. It's been an amazing year. Couldn't do it without you, obviously. I echo Brian. Right? Let's get ready to hit the ground running. Our team is going to be off tomorrow since New Year's falls on a Saturday, like he said. Our team is going to be off on New Year's Eve, so the support team, the partner support team, and our partner relations folks are going to be out tomorrow, Friday, New Year's Eve. But if you need anything, if there's anything urgent, I'm sure you have Brian or I's cell phones or emails, and we'll be able to help with anything you got. But let's go into next year strong, like you're finishing the year strong already. A lot of you are still working, and I love to see it.
All right, on that, we'll say one last high five. And I say to everyone, Happy New Year, have a great year, and go blue. We'll see you next week in the new year, 2022.